Hey guys, welcome to the Real Estate Freedom Formula podcast. My name is Cody Hoffine. I'll be hosting today's episode, and I'm excited because today we're actually doing it live in the office. Never done this before. This is the first of many things. I have a rock star, just a great, all-around great guy. His name's Cade. He's going to be sharing his story. But for those that are new to the podcast, what this is about is all about getting financial freedom through real estate. And we use this technique that is called wholesaling, right? It's ultimately becoming a deal finder, being able to find and locate deeply discounted properties at your area, wherever you live, at 40, 50 cents on the dollar so that you can turn them for huge profits. And today we're going to be breaking down one of those ways how Cade was able to make a lot of money. I don't want to share the details. That's going to be his story today. But ultimately how he was able to come across. Now, guys, here's the good thing. He's only been doing it for 2 months. 2 months. So for those of you that are beginning right now, just thinking, man, how can I get into this? Can I get into this? Will it take me years before I do my first deal? Cade's been doing it for 2 months. He's in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. He's actually one of our franchisees. So he just taps right into the system, plugs in, and in 2 months, he's done 2 deals. His first deal was a $3K deal that paid him $3,000. Just think about that, guys. If you had an additional $3,000 that you could add to your monthly income doing what you're doing, right? What would that look like for you? What would you be able to do? Now, the second deal is quite a bit bigger. So just listen up, get ready. We're gonna break this down. Get out a piece of paper, get out a pen, jot down some gold nuggets so you can get out there and start taking action today. So today we have Cade. He's gonna be sharing a story. But Cade, first and foremost, explain a little bit how you got into real estate, what got you into this, and a little bit about yourself, your background.
Okay, yeah, so I think the big thing that got me interested in real estate was about 11, 12 years ago. I bought a house and we lived in it for about a year, and then we moved out of it. And when we moved out, we rented it out. And so I just saw the cash flow coming in on that. And for the last 11, 12 years on that one, I've been doubling my mortgage and rent payment on it. So, and then I picked up another one after that, but all during, while picking up those 2 properties, those were ones I lived in.
Okay.
And so, but I got excited about them because I was like, man, I should do more of this.
Yeah.
But I was doing good at my current job.
Yeah.
I was what I thought happy there.
Yeah.
And so I never did, but always wanted to.
So here's the cool thing about Cade. Cade's been working for a company making great money, right? And many of you could be listening to this saying, gosh, it's hard for me to get into real estate because I am working that great job that provides maybe benefits, provides a great income. And that was the case for Cade. So he's going to even break down how all of that's going and all that fun stuff and how he's able to do this on the side, because you're still doing that, right?
No,
or
cold turkey.
Cold turkey, it's done.
Yeah,
but the first month you weren't, right? You were still doing both, or no?
No.
So it was cold turkey. It was we're going in. Okay, so completely wrong. So he's going to share how he just said, see you later, corporate America. I'm doing this on my own. But he's also doing some big things right out of the gate, I think, because of that big jump in. So that's huge.
Yeah, for sure.
A lot of people perform well when their back's against the wall. So ultimately, let's talk about this deal. Let's break down. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. Let's discuss a little bit about how, I don't want to share the details, but ultimately, how did you find this deal? What was the lead source? Was it direct mail? Was it cold calling? How did you come across this lead in the first place?
So it was a mailer. Sent a mailer out.
Okay, direct mail, guys. Direct mail is not dead. It's amazing. Jot that down.
Both my deals so far have been direct mail.
Both of his deals have been direct mail. Jot that down.
So, it was a direct mail piece. She got the piece of mail. She called me. She, straight up on the phone, she said, look, I've been collecting mail for 12 months now. I've just started getting offers. I said, okay.
So prior to the 12 months, is it because she wasn't interested in selling at that time? And now it's been 12 months and now she's like, okay, I'm ready to sell.
Exactly. Her brother had a stroke.
Huge gold nugget, by the way. We'll come back on this.
So her brother had a stroke.
Okay.
And they need to now remodel, either completely remodel that home or move into a home that can be wheelchair accessible.
Okay, so guys, here's the thing about marketing in general. It's always the 3 things, right? The Holy Grail. It's the right message to the right people at the right time.
Timing.
So a lot of these individuals had been mailing her over 12 months, it's not that they were doing bad, but it's he or she whose marketing piece is in front of them when a change takes place. When they're ready to say, hey, I'm ready to sell my home. So stay consistent, because he started sending out mail. It got into the hands of this seller that is now at the point where like, hey, it's time for me to sell. I need to sell this. I need to sell this home. Had more people stayed consistent, they could have been in on this deal as well. So again, guys, it's not about anything more than just staying consistent. If you're going to market, be consistent, because you never know when something is going to take place. A change is going to take place where they're going to be like, hey, I'm going to reach out to this individual. So it happened to be your marketing piece. Was there more people on this besides you?
Oh yeah. So literally I went out to the house, and when I got there about 10 minutes early, and there was a car in the driveway.
Yeah.
And so I just drove down the street, and I knew there were lots of other people talking with her. And so by the time I turned around and went back to the appointment, that car was gone. So I'm assuming that was another cash buyer, right? Another wholesaler.
And had she told you on the phone that she's getting multiple offers?
Yes.
I mean, was there? So there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, anyways, I went in, talked with her. I spent about 30, 45 minutes with her. It was really hard to kind of figure out what this property was even worth. It was surrounded by, on one side was Love Field Airport, and then all around it was like literally 3 blocks from the home on all the other sides was $500,000 to $2 million homes.
Wow.
And then this little pocket where our home was just straight ghetto.
Yeah.
But it was transforming quickly. Like properties were, they were leveling homes and rebuilding new ones.
To keep up with those other ones that were in that bigger price point, $500K all the way up to $2 million. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So guys, here's the thing. Don't get too overwhelmed by this though. But here's some of the things you'll learn is sometimes you'll get what you think is a deal, but then you'll realize, oh man, I'm on the wrong side of the street. I'm actually on this side of the street, which makes the home worth a lot less. But it's okay. You're going out there doing imperfect action. So Cade was not an expert, by the way, in real estate.
No.
He came to us a couple months ago, like knowing very little, just like many of us. Like I was never an expert when I got into this. Cade is a perfect example, like not an expert at doing this. He just was very good at taking imperfect action and just learning along the way. And that's what's allowed him to succeed so quick. So you get this deal, you're talking to this lady, you don't know how to comp the property because it's all over the place.
Yep.
What did you ultimately end up start doing?
So ultimately she wasn't ready to make a decision then.
Okay.
So,
was that because she wanted to talk to more people, or timing still, like we don't know when we want to move?
She was ready to make a decision, but she wouldn't pull the trigger, and the price that she wanted I wasn't willing to give to her at that point because I felt like it was way too much. Okay. So anyways, I left, and
what does that conversation look like? Like, are we talking, she says a price and you're like, oh, like I don't want to do it, and I'm not just going to put it under contract for the sake of putting a home under contract.
Yeah.
So you kind of stayed firm. Like, did you already start to counter offer, like I can only be around here, or you're like, I'm not even going to make an offer right now?
I didn't even make an offer.
Okay. So smart, guys. Smart. Jot this down. I asked that question kind of hindsight. Just that's the right way of doing it. You don't, if you can't give them their price, don't make an offer because they'll use that against you for other people. Keep going.
So didn't make an offer. I left. I called Devin, who's one of partners out there in Texas, and he was just like, yeah, this isn't a deal. It's she wants way too much for it.
Yeah.
2 weeks goes by. About a week went by, and I was going to another appointment. And keep in mind, I'd been on 5 appointments in a row that I didn't lock down a deal. And so
what's the frustration that goes? We laugh. What is the frustration that goes through your mind when you're like, I've been on 5 appointments and I cannot put it under contract? Like, what are the feelings going through your mind at this point?
What am I doing wrong? Because I feel like I know how to close. I know how to build a relationship with people.
His past experience, guys, he knows plenty of that. Selling door to door, like alarms, solar, having huge teams underneath them. Like, the guy gets sales, just so you know.
So yeah, I was frustrated. I felt like for sure it was something I was doing wrong.
Yeah.
So I go to this 5th appointment and I didn't get it, and I was like, I'm getting a deal tonight. I don't know how, but I'm gonna figure this out. It was like 7 at night. I'm driving home and I'm passing by Love Field Airport, and I remember this lady that I couldn't close down. And part of me was like, this home could potentially be worth a lot more than what everyone's thinking.
Yeah.
Simply just because of its surroundings.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and knock on her door and surprise her and see what happens. So
guys, listen to this. You better be jotting this down, by the way. It's follow-up. The gold is in the follow-up. If I pull up my last 10 deals on any given month or any given quarter, on any given, you tell me like, hey, just pick your last 10 deals. I will always tell you 7 or 8 out of every 10 are found through follow-up. 2, maybe 3 at most are on the spot deals. So majority of our deal flow comes from follow-up. So here he is, frustrated, and instead of like resting on his laurels and like, oh man, maybe real estate's just not meant for me, he said, no, I am getting a deal tonight. I don't know how, but I'm getting a deal tonight. I'm leaving this appointment. Yes, I'm frustrated. I've been on 5 appointments, haven't locked one down. I'm getting one tonight. And he randomly shows back up to this lady's home to go sit down and have a conversation. Let's keep going. Guys, this is good stuff. I hope you're listening. This is the difference between high-performing real estate investors and just mediocre, those that do onesie-twosies and ride the roller coaster every single month. Okay.
Yeah, so I knew she was motivated. Like, I knew that much. I didn't feel like, she gave me a chance because she had all those other offers to go to.
Yeah.
It'd been a week, so I was like, all right, I'm just going to go knock on her door. I'm sure she's talked to all those other people. She's either sold it or it's not sold, and I'm going to get it.
But I'm going to figure it out. Yeah. Okay.
So she opens up the door. She didn't really remember me. I was just like, hey, Ruby, my name's Cade.
Oh, and you've met with her before.
Yeah, a week prior.
A week prior, and she's already forgotten who you really are.
Yeah, well, she was kind of like, hey, I don't know if she totally forgot who I was or was just shocked that I was back unannounced.
Sure.
Probably a little bit of both.
Sure.
But I knock on her door. I was like, hey, Ruby, it's Cade. You might, may remember me from a week ago. I was just stopping by. I wanted to see if I could, bug you for a glass of water and see how all those other fall appointments went. Big smile on my face, and I just kind of started. I put my head.
Guys, this is freaking gold. Can I bug you for a glass of water? This is amazing. Oh, you really said this.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Guys, you don't realize that is so much more ninja than I've ever done. I've never. Did you use this?
Door to door. That's like,
door to door. Can I bug you for a glass of water? Guys, that is genius. Jot that down. Keep going.
People care about other people, and so they always. I feel like most people, right?
Solid
people always
gold.
Want to help you.
I love. I don't have to
you.
question that wouldn't work 9 times out of 10. That's solid.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going.
So she says, sure, come on in. So she grabs me a bottle of water. I come in. I sit down, and we just start talking with her. She hadn't pulled the trigger yet, and I threw a Hail Mary. I gave her less than her original price. She wanted $250.
Yep.
I told her that I couldn't do $250, but I could do $200. And
so you anchored low, guys. She wants $250. It wasn't like, oh, can you come down to $240? Oh, can you come down to $230? Like, what was that feeling in your gut when you said, oh, what's going to happen when I tell her $200,000 and I'm $50,000 shy of what she wants?
Well, I guess my feeling was, going into it, I was like, I'm going to write a deal. I knew this one was going to be a Hail Mary.
Yeah.
I kind of just wanted to hopefully get it for somewhere around like 220 or something like that.
Okay.
And my anchor prior was like 170, the first appointment.
Okay.
And so, I anchored at 200, and I knew that she hadn't accepted any of the other offers, so I felt like that was probably pretty safe, saying that no one gave her close to 250.
Yeah.
So anchored at 200, she didn't really like it, and then we went back and forth for a little bit, and I ended up locking it down at 210. She signed the paperwork that night.
210, guys, $40K off of what she wanted, but it started with anchoring low and then working your way up. That's the key thing here.
Yep. And after we signed the paperwork, she was stoked at the price.
Yeah.
So, like, clearly what...
So you were serving her at a high level too. Like, what
100%,
other... What made you... things were you doing besides price that made you feel like, man, she went with me because of some of these certain other things besides price?
So, probably the biggest thing was talking with her about her brother who was in a wheelchair with a stroke.
Yeah.
My little brother Kyle was in a wheelchair, so I kind of knew the hardships of just dealing with that and ramps and getting in and out of vehicles and that kind of stuff. So I was able to relate with her on that, and then also tell her that we'd figure out a way, whether it was building a ramp at this house or helping her find a home that had a ramp. Yeah. Even before she got moved out, and just giving her comfort that I wasn't going to kick her to the curb. That's awesome. Her brother just had a stroke. But that I'd make sure that worked out.
Guys, I want you to listen to this, that real estate is always the byproduct. Always, always, always. I want you to understand this and jot this down. Just what Cade did is perfect. It's spot on. It's serve. Regardless if he was going to get the contract or not. Because he was saying, whether we build a ramp at this current house or whether we build a ramp at your next house so that your brother can get into that house easily, right? It's all about serving. The byproduct is you solve people's problem, you serve them at a high level, serve them with excellence. The byproduct is they want to find a way to do business with you. And that's why they're willing to give you price, because you gave them speed, you gave them convenience, you gave them that service, you gave them that love, that kindness. These are some of the attributes that so many people don't live by anymore. And it's crazy because it's not about being able to buy a home for cash. It's not buying it as is. Those are benefits. But that you can go in there and have compassion and share how that story resonates. That, you know what, I've had a brother that had this situation that we had to do this with. It's talking with them. It's serving them at a high level. And then this individual wants to do business with Cade because he's serving at a high level. He's serving probably better than any other individual that was out there, any other investor that was out there trying to get this deal. Cade just outserved them. He didn't outsell them. He outserved them. When we talk about ABCs, always be closing, always be connecting. Swap out that C. Always be connecting, because the byproduct is you'll get more deals. So you get this home under contract. You serve her at a high level. What took place from there? Did you set up like inspection? Did you have cash buyers? What was your strategy for exiting on this?
Yeah, so I have cash buyers list. I set up inspection, and we had seven people show up to the inspection.
And we were on the phone. Is this the one that we talked about on the phone? Okay.
Yeah.
7 people come out inspection. That's a great thing. That means he priced it right. What did you send it out to your cash buyers at?
I sent it out at $219. So
$219. So we put under contract at $210, sends it out at $219 to his cash buyers. Okay, keep going.
And 3 of them wanted to do a remodel with it. 4 of them wanted to just have it for the land.
Yeah.
And came back. All the offers I got were lower than asking.
Yeah.
Right. But there was one guy that came back at $230.
Woo! Keep going.
That's all. Okay. That's all it took, right?
So he wanted $230.
Yep.
You simply just assigned this contract.
Yep.
To this individual, and then ultimately, if my math's right, a $20K deal to you.
Yep.
Okay, now we're not in my normal original office, so we're gonna have to use this like school teacher bell right here. But we are gonna ring the victory bell for Cade Thewison. Hold on, right. There's our victory bell for Mr. Cade Thewison, who just did a $20K deal. Now, guys, I want you to think about this. 2 months ago, he's selling door to door, and he has a team. And I'm assuming it's not just local. Like, are you flying out in different states, or no? Was it local?
I was doing local, and then I had a team out in North Carolina that was doing.
Did you have to visit them often?
Yeah.
Does that get wearing and tearing? Like, was that some of the things that made you like, gosh, I want to find something that I can still do great, but be around my wife and kids and not have to fly out or visit? I mean, was that any of those?
Yeah, so there were 2 reasons why I made the switch.
Okay.
Really, two I guess 2 big reasons. One was that right there, travel. I hate traveling.
Yeah.
You know, I'm a huge family guy.
Well, COVID-19's changing this too, right?
Yeah. And so just the fact that I could do something where I could control my own schedule and not have to travel was the number one reason. And then the other one reason is I wanted ultimately for the buck to stop at me. If something wasn't going the way I wanted to, I wanted it to be something that I could change.
Yeah.
And currently where I was, I couldn't change. There were decisions that were made at a corporate level that although I felt like I had a lot of control over them, I actually didn't.
Yeah.
And I didn't like that. So
solid.
That's why I made the move.
I know this is probably resonates with many of you right now that you're listening right now and you're thinking, gosh, I'm in this corporate job, and although you make a great income, or maybe those that aren't making their desired income, the beautiful thing is real estate can provide an option. I'm not saying everyone listening today, it's like, man, this is what I'm going to do. My hope is yes, because I actually truly believe anyone can do it. You don't need to be an expert. You don't need to be a licensed real estate agent. You don't need all the money in the world, because at the end of the day, there's so many different exit strategies. Cade picked one that he just simply assigned the contract to another cash buyer. So he was the deal finder. He went out and found the deal. He put it under contract. And then he just simply assigned it to the end buyer and made $20,000. That is such a huge home run. And think about what that would do for you guys. What would that do for your family? What would that do for your loved ones? What would that do for your future? Knowing that that much money came in on one deal. He's only been doing this 2 months, guys. $23,000 in 2 deals has come in because he's just willing to get out there, knowing that he's not the expert, just fail his way forward, take massive imperfect action, and learn as he goes through this process. But each deal just gives him that much more momentum, that much more traction to keep doing more deals. Where I told Cade from a few months back when we first were talking about this, and he was asking me about real estate and should I do it. I looked at him and I still remember it's like it was yesterday, like, yes, like you'll kill it. You'll absolutely do amazing. Like you've got all the work ethic, you've got all of the grind, the hustle. All you need is just these little simple know-hows, and it's gonna turn on. And here he is in 2 months, just proving everything right, that you can do it. You can do it. You gotta hustle. It's not gonna be easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy. That's why we brought up some of those struggles. 5 appointments to be told no. And how many phone calls on top of this? Oh. I mean, how many phone calls have called back and said, "Take me off your list, you piece of crap"? Like,
yeah. Tons that I've received. But then, I've been doing the one thing that I told myself I would never do, ever since I did a call center job. Right?
Yeah.
I made my own call center in the office of my house, and I've been on the phone making outbound calls. So I can't wait to pay somebody to do that for me.
That is the first.
And that'll happen next month, right?
That's awesome.
Like you do things that you don't want to do, that you dread, to get where you want to go ultimately, I feel like.
He's wearing all the hats right now, but in the future, in this near future, one by one, some of these tasks will be hired out to other team members so that he can continue to free up that time, still continue to work on the business, but not so much in the business, put the process in place, the team in place, the systems in place, the automation in place, so that he can continue to work towards that goal of living that life of how he wants to live it, living that lifestyle that he wants to live. And I just haven't found any other way than real estate that allows you to accomplish that. And I'm excited for you, Cade. This is awesome stuff. I knew it was going to happen. Like, this is one of those things I was like, I just can't wait for you to go out and do it, because you're going to realize that you're going to kill it. You're going to do great. You're going to serve so many people. You have the mindset. You have the heart set to make this work. And here you are a couple months in doing 2 deals that bring in more than some people's annually salary. Yeah. So that's big stuff. So 2 takeaways. Here we go. We always end the podcast this way. Okay. The first one is a book that you've been recently reading that's been like game changing. What book would you recommend to everyone saying, hey, I've read this book recently and this is like the principle behind it?
So I'm reading 2 books right now. One is Hero.
Okay.
And I can't remember the author. Her name's Meg.
Okay.
But it's Being a Hero Father.
Okay.
So that's a book that I've loved, that I feel if you're a dad out there, or
I'm buying this
book
soon today, by the way. I love dad books.
It's a game changer.
Okay.
Awesome book. And that's more on a personal level, I think.
Yeah.
And then on a work or just self-improvement level for me, High Performance Habits is a book I just finished on audio, and it was good enough that I
can't remember if I have mine in here. I don't, but I love that book by Brendan Burchard, guys. Phenomenal book. High Performing Habits. Keep going. Why is it?
So I love it just because I'm a I do better when I have a routine.
Yeah.
And that book is phenomenal at just helping you set a good routine and put yourself in a situation where you don't even have to think about the things that need to be done.
That's right.
Because they are a habit to you.
Phenomenal book, phenomenal author. Brendan's a dear friend of mine. I go to like every one of his events. I'm in his mastermind. That book is high quality, but it's something that I'll teach you how to perform with the high performers, not just kind of lollygag through life. It's like there is a complete difference. When you hear people being like the top 3%, there's a reason why they're the top 3%. It's not luck. It's all about these habits that they have, and that book kind of spells out these 6 main habits. So go get a copy of that. That's a phenomenal book. Well, Cade, I want to thank you so much for being here today.
Absolutely.
Rock solid. You're going to do so much more than this. You're gaining so much traction. I know individuals that maybe it takes a little bit longer to do a deal, and here you are in your second deal in your second month and bringing in great money and already being able to live the life the way you want to live it. Like, you can already probably start to map out how it's going to be for you for the future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exciting.
Solid. Okay, guys, thank you for listening today. For those, again, that are new, welcome to this podcast. We're excited to have you. We're going to be breaking this down every week. We're going to be interviewing individuals so that you can just simply get inspired. So be sure to subscribe to the podcast. Be sure to leave a review if it was something that helped you and inspired you and motivated you to go out there and say, hey, I'm going to go do this. Please leave a review. We love to hear that. Leave a comment so we know how we can serve you at a higher level. And ultimately, if you need help building your real estate business, much like Cade, and be able to go out there and start doing deals, head on over to CodyHoffine.com. That's CodyHoffine.com, where you can learn more. You can already download my free script, guys. Go in there, click the button by just heading to the website. Get the free script so you know how to start talking to motivated sellers. And then we will see each one of you on the next episode. God bless you guys.